G'day and welcome to the video. It's time for hardcore run number 12. No changes to what we're seeing or using, so things are pretty much set at this point. That means no changes to the world set up or the game rules I've set, so it's time to see what I've got. The mini-map is giving things away, but I pop out of the trees onto a beach, which means that I'm on a fairly small island. I'm going to need a boat if I want anything more than spruce and sand. A village is an early discovery, but it's oddly silent for now. I don't know that I've found a zombie village so early in a game before. Well, night is falling on the first day and I'm standing in the middle of a zombie village contemplating whether it's a smart thing to sleep here tonight. I'd borrowed a bed and ultimately decide that sleeping on the beach is slightly safer. I'm back to clearing out the village and I encounter a prior resident. He seems happy there out of the sun, so I'll leave him be. Leaving the village, the mini-map suggests a frozen biome is just ahead. That's backed up by the river ice I'm starting to see. Now, given my horrible run of experience with frozen biomes, I think that the best thing to do for now is completely avoid it. And the village has been suitably pillaged, and it wasn't all that far from spawn. Time to head back to the seas and continue my exploration. Now, I can see the silhouettes of village lampposts from here. Oh, I'm hoping this village has people. It has iron golems, so it's promising. I have a successful poke around the village, trap a couple of future friends, and consider it time to take my loot back to base and work on the next set of tasks. Well, not only was the village fairly close to the zombie one, but I encountered an exposed shipwreck on the way back. Given the poor variety of resources on the starting island, it's nice to have so many choices so close to base. And it's just passing in the night as I arrive back at base. While I don't think the spruce are going to be so thick as I build, it's a really pleasant spot to come back to. Now, my most immediate task the next morning is to start clearing space to build, and storage to hold all the loot I brought back with me. Lots of thick canopy cover means there's going to be mobs hiding out during the day, which ultimately is another reason to cut all the trees back. A pair of skeletons get the drop of me and I run for the safety of the nearby beach. Huh, there's something strange about my shadow. Maybe that's why I've lost hearts and hunger. By mid-morning I have the start of a clearing going, but it seems that I'm reluctant to do anything about those lost hearts. Or hunger. Now, I know I have half a stack of bread. Clearly I'm keeping it for when I need it. With the skeletons otherwise occupied, I take a break from base clearing and check out the ruined portal, only to be dismayed by the very poor treasure chest. Well, at least I've made up for it by pillaging those villages. It's getting dark and I'm yet to find any coal. I do have a surplus of timber and a decent pit access to cobble. So we're going to go with charcoal. Even though I have maps and waypoints, I still build a spawn tower and use some of my first torches to light it and the immediate spawn area. Nothing like a starlit dinner of dry bread on the beach. That problem of mobs under trees and poor lighting combines to have a zombie wake me after just an hour of sleep. I get my first mob kill. I don't even get to close my eyes before another one has woken me up again. Well, with him taken care of, perhaps I should attend to my health. And do something about the lighting. Well, there's too many hostiles nearby to let me get back to sleep. So it's time for plan B. That's plan boat. I hit the water, get some health back, and circle back to fight them on the beaches. My plan, such as it is, seems to work, and I dispatch zombie after zombie. It's not long before things are clear enough that I can try to sleep again. That decision to sleep is rather silly, given that I've completely ignored the creeper, skeleton, and spider that were clearly hanging out on the beach while I was fighting the zombies. Surprisingly, I managed to make it through the rest of the night without being bothered again. Heading back onto the beach reveals a now burning skeleton and a spider. But a creeper. I dispatch both of them and begin flattening the terrain near the beach when the creeper joins me again. With him suitably taken care of, I return to my work, blissfully ignorant of the other creeper, which has suddenly decided it might be safer back in the trees. Oh, no, wait. He's decided to come and join me anyway. This is going to be an ongoing problem for me, since the island is so small. There just isn't a lot of space for the mobs to spawn. Well, only until I get the surface cleaned up, that is. At which point, they're going to become an underground problem. Using the lack of surface stone as an excuse, I head back to the water and head for my villager friends who are sitting on a mountain of it. Before I meet up with them though, I make an initial stop at the exposed shipwreck I'd passed before. I only end up finding 2 chests, but one was filled with lapis and iron, and the other had paper and a treasure map. Perusing the treasure map and checking against the exposed world map indicates I've, yet to uncover the treasure location. I'm hoping I'm not too far away, though the marker being right in the bottom corner of the map is a concern. Well, I set aside my plan for cobble and head for the water. Treasure awaits. Now, it's not the treasure, but it is a treasure. One which gives me golden pants and some gold and iron nuggets. Which is an improvement over the first ruined portal. I'm prepared for a night on the water when land comes into view. The closer I get, the better it looks. After a quick sleep on the closest beach, I know I've hit natural treasure, if nothing else. Checking the actual treasure map, and I'm actually on it. And have a pretty good idea about where the treasure is. I don't go directly for it though. The obsessive part of my mind kicks in and I have to fully fill in the treasure map first. It's not a complete waste of time. I do pick up a lot of oak and birch, both of which were non-existent around the base and the villages I'd found. Back on task, and the first hole I dig for treasure is right on the mark. And that's not a bad collection of items. With an inventory full of loot, taking it back to base seems, most sensible. On the way, I find and mark an ocean monument for later consideration. And since I'm already on the water, I row past the base to map out the immediate area to the west. Unsurprisingly, it's more spruce. But there does seem to be a small section of normal forest, and if that isn't a ravine, then it's a major cave entrance. With all the stuff I've gathered, I plant out my new tree farm and start on building the standard hardcore base design, which also exposes normal stone just below the surface. Well, I didn't miss out on anything by not completing my original planned journey. I've had enough issues with mobs running around on the surface, and this rain isn't making it any easier. Well, at least I can head underground and work happily there for now. The foundations are coming along nicely, but it seems that the beach is still a haven for mobs to spawn at night. There is an eternal child inside all of us, so when the opportunity presents itself to just stop and jump in puddles for a bit, it's the correct thing to do. And grass has started seeding on the farm level, and while a protein-heavy diet is fine, I do need to start planting crops. The first quarter of a paddock goes in, so at least I'll have something to grow and harvest. The framework for my haul is in place, but I had to remove that Azalea to do so. Thankfully, I gained some Azalea saplings, so use them to decorate a small path for what will be the main entrance to base. With the immediate area somewhat clearer of trees, it's really peaceful to sit and watch the moon just rise over the ocean. I think there's some sort of game we're meant to be playing. Well, I'm interested to see what that trader has to offer, but I need to sleep first. Oh, that's weird. It didn't happen like that in game. This is some sort of replay mod glitch. Being a session recorded via replay mod, I can't see what the offer is. My response to it though is fairly clear. Well, back inside base I decide it's time to begin my mine access tunnels. And I almost immediately catch back up to the rooted dirt that belonged to the original Azalea. I'm in 2 mines. Mines! Yeah, quality humour is lost nowadays. About whether to follow the rooted dirt or continue my normal access tunnel. Well, that decision is sort of made when I hit water. I'm on an island. I should expect water in my mine tunnels. A fair amount of sand later, and I've managed to infill the immediate flooded cave part and carry on with the access tunnel. And now I'm completely through. Clearly it's a thin flooded cave and something I need to be wary of when it comes time to do my branching tunnels. A clay deposit. Now things are getting more interesting. It's not followed the rooted dirt path, but I'm crossing my fingers that there's a lush cave system that I can access just off my main tunnel. Oh. The clay turns out to be a thin deposit directly in the tunnel. And now I'm onto deep slate and no lush cave. Well, given that I've already built my hall from diorite, I do need deep slate for the tower part of my build. Oh. So there's more clay. And this time it's in the deep slate. Well, maybe it isn't as bad as I fear. With a decent supply of deep slate, I may as well start building and securing the tower. Perhaps then I can stop sleeping on the beach. I mean, it's not much, but it is a start. I can't call it secure yet. I'm back in the mines and working through the deep slate levels when I hit moss. Moss. That means I have a lush cave. Now, it may not be the same one linked to the spawn Azalea, but it is a lush cave. I'm going to have to build an axle house. This actually looks like a really cool, deep, lush cave. I'm going to have lots of great stuff to get out of here. Oh look, an axle. And it seems he's got some diamonds in there too. You know, for all the deep slate I've mined, I haven't really added much to the tower. Well, at least it's fairly secure. I also haven't invested in my armour, with my starter leather cap now broken and my tools about to completely break. Well, at least I'm still saving my food for when I might really need it. I'm back to extending the access tunnel to bedrock and I hit a small cave, which seems to be full of existing residents. I'll leave that cave alone for now. I go back to the lush cave and get some more friends for my axle buddy. Look how happy they are in there. I've even landscaped it for them. And there's even a baby one. Now, I'm used to the idea of skeletons appearing in loose pairs, but I seem to be running into a lot more creeper pairs than I thought is normal. Back to pushing the access tunnel to bedrock, and I have probably the best possible obstacle. Diamonds! I'm not quite at bedrock yet, but it is interesting to see on the world map just how far I've dug purely in terms of access tunnel. In a fully developed setup, there's equivalent mining tunnels on all 4 cardinal points. That's a lot of chunks being checked for ores. And now I've finally hit bedrock, which means it's time to start marking out the branch levels as I work my way back up. I make a stop in the lush cave on the way back up to gather some obsidian for the portal and other needs. It is interesting to see that the glowberry vines and moss aren't burning above the lava. Axel's house is getting crowded, but they all look happy swimming around for now. I clearly need a bigger house for them. I'm busy considering if I have what I want for a nether push, and absent-mindedly smelt gold for armour, completely forgetting that I'm already wearing gold. The portal room is nowhere near finished, but the portal is built. It's time to see what's on the other side. Okay, so it's a fairly narrow platform in a basalt delta. On the outside, that means blackstone should be fairly accessible. Other than that, it isn't really a safe place to be hanging around right now. It's ugly and cobble, but at least the nether side of the portal is a lot more safe. I can now start thinking about exploration. I stop and look at the world map in the nether, and it's a lot of nether wastes, a decent basalt delta, and some crimson forest. This isn't the first time a lava geyser has hit me. It's part of a mod, and it's not going to be the last. Would you care to explain how you got that chicken? My initial foray into the nether exploration comes up, well, empty. But there's an interesting shape on the map that warrants a closer look. I've returned to the nether after some work on the tower and the above world portal room. I've got two goals. Firstly, I need more blocks to build the portal room. Secondly, I need to go check out that interesting shape on the map. With a little more of the map exposed, that clearly looks fortress-like. I suspect it's buried deeply in netherrack, but we'll see. Now, it's not because I've explored more, which I haven't. It's because the map only shows a certain number of layers above and below the player's current Y level in the nether. That pays off again as I spot what is clearly a fortress to the northwest of my portal. But being in the middle of a lava sea might make accessing it a bit more difficult. Oh, another one of those annoying lava geysers. Okay, I'm still a way back from the waypoint, but that's clearly a fortress. What I can see in the fortress is promising, but I really need to make the path back to the portal safe and come back with sufficient exploration supplies before I do more. And I hit a lava geyser again. I don't know how much damage this one particular static item has and is causing me. It isn't really clear on the map, but I have redone the path between the fortress and the portal, and now it's mostly undercover. It's not quite the same as the one I built previously, but I think this portal room looks nice. Perhaps some glow vines and it'll be perfect. My next major bit of work is to head into the lush cave for decorative items, and to have a general poke around. The results of which are put to good use to continue decorating the portal room. Back in the nether, I finalise the covered path to the fortress and start setting up an advanced camp. Thorough exploration leads me to an outside walkway that seems to lead to interesting places. There's hints of a nearby spawner, but even if there isn't, I should at least get to explore more of the fortress. As safe as my covered walkway approach is, it is very expensive in terms of resources. It's probably time I took the current fortress loot back to the overworld and let these hostiles despawn. Maybe I should consider opening a saddle shop courtesy of this single session in the fortress. I've come back to the village to collect some villager and animal friends. My first problem is that I've left my shovel behind, and so get stuck at the simplest of path to grass interfaces. A bit of crafting later, and I've got a wooden solution to my shovel problem. I add a couple of sheep to my villager transport, and soon we have a mixed cargo ferry heading back to base. Hey, my plan worked great. Right up to the point one of the sheep decided it wanted to go in the boat. I also take the opportunity to add glass to the hall with a nice white and light blue pattern, which also helps to provide a bit more base security. Armed with a stack and a bit of plain glass panes, I'm back into the Nether for more work on the fortress. The glass panes fill the gaps in the covered walkway and allow me to see what's happening outside while staying untargeted by mobs. I've never really been confident taking on blazes in the open, so it's peekaboo time until they go away, or I kill them. That original suggestion of a spawner, along with the sheer number of blazes showing up, turns out to be right. It's a definite spawner. I light the immediate area as quickly as possible and then retreat to start contemplating the next step. I've extended my covered walkway as far as possible, but I still need so many resources to safely reach it, let alone build the blaze farm. I have things in the overworld I have to take care of too, so that's going to be occupying me for a while. Since I'm running a mod that increases mob head drop rates, I've left a bit of a warning to wandering traders on my front door. I cleverly use a fence and gate to safely extract my villager and sheep from the boat, only for the villager to go walkabout. A short chase later, complete with drag sheep, and the villager nicely enters the base of his own accord. Oh, I have an active portal, and plenty of things that are non-villager friendly that I need to make safe. I get my sheep reunited, so now it's time to see where that villager got to. Okay, so downstairs is ready for the villager. Let's go see. That's just asking for trouble. With the villager safely in the storage hall, I flex on him by showing him whose bed it really is. It's a bit hard to have a voluntary breeding program with only one villager, so I head off to find him a friend. This time, our mixed cargo ferry is bringing back a pair of cows, in addition to a villager. My animal holding pit isn't exactly pretty, but I do have the breeding pairs I want for now. They'll be getting proper homes once the farm is pretty. Huh, that's strange. A villager died. I wonder if it's important. I set up to move the new villager in with the buddy, who is safely in my storage hall. Alright, the death message. Well, no point crying over dead villagers. Let's go get a third. Right, now that my third friend is here, I'm not taking any chances. It's straight inside and downstairs with them. With everybody in their proper place, I clean up the rest of my mess, and it's like the debacle never happened. My next trip into the lush cave, I combine exploration with resource extraction, so I can make my blaze farm, and the rest of my covered walkway. I'd been hearing strange piglin sounds at my base, and when I went to breed my cows and sheep, I found I've trapped something odd. Huh. Back in the Nether, I complete the covered walkway to the blaze spawner and relocate my equipment to build the farm. I can now make it safely, well, mostly, from the portal all the way to the spawner. Soon, that will include harvesting blazes. After a bit of effort in the overworld gathering resources to build the blaze farm, and more building of the base, I'm ready to farm blazes. Now, one of the difficulties with building this particular farm design is that the spawners will often be reactivated while building. Generally, this isn't an issue for most mobs, but building around a blaze spawner often means spending a lot of time on fire and fighting hostiles. I'm not finished, but I've taken enough hurt to this point. Leaving for a while will also allow those countless blazes to despawn. The view from my safe covered walkway just shows how frustrating it gets around those blaze spawners. The tower isn't 100% complete, but the fresh air and sunlight is invigorating after the nether. This sort of farming is far more peaceful, and it has the benefit of generating the carrots I'll need for my villager breeder. You don't build blaze farms by staying safe in the overworld, so it's back into the nether. I'm not finished here, but I'm sick of being on fire, so I'll tidy up the blazes in the farm and go take a breather. You see all those blazes out there? They'll be contained in the farm when it's done. I still have to build their containment yet. A quick stop at the Axel house helps cleanse the soul while I think about the effort to finish the farm. The voices in my head, i.e. chat, demanded an MLG jump, but denied ever having said anything when I did it. I must have double-clicked as I landed, since I had a ton of dirt. I'm still alive. Carving out the farm level to make space for my breeding facility and trading hall, I hit a natural cave, filled with hostiles who are just waiting to meet me. Alright, though it's not finished yet, I am getting decent blaze rods and XP already. Well, it might just stay like this at this rate. Most of my builds up to now haven't lasted long enough for me to have a completed farm level, let alone a blaze farm. With this resource pack and shader combination, polished andesite makes for a nice bright farm area. Polished diorite slabs as ceiling tiles also helps keep everything nice and bright. As I continue to expand and build, it's like I forgot that there's a cave full of mobs down there who are waiting to bite, sting, or stab me. The last of the ceiling goes in, and the breeder is ready for irrigation and crops, i.e. carrots. And now the last of the crops for the breeder are in place. It's going to be time to move in the residents. Now, personally, I find that carrots are the best for breeding facilities. I mean, potatoes and wheat also work, but really it's a personal preference. Even at this stage, I'm still getting far too many hostiles spawning outside, using the protection of the heavy tree canopy. Well, there's an easy way to fix that. Since I'm happy with the blaze rods I've gathered for now, I turn most of my attention to the overworld effort. Expansion work on the farm level eventually gets to the point I can move my animal breeding stock into their proper homes. And, most importantly, it gets the sheep back onto grass so they can regrow their wool. I'm ready to move the villagers into their new home, too. It's a little harder than with the animals, well, since I can't put a lead on them. Instead, I lead them by way of dirt corridors and a strategically moved bed. Hey, I'm busy here relocating my breeding villages. Go be annoying somewhere else. Well, I guess that's somewhere else. Thanks for the pearl. The breeder collector is pretty much complete. A couple of small additions maybe, but it's complete enough for breeding to start. While I'm busy cleaning up outside and refreshing my tree farm, an Enderman shows up to annoy me. Well, it seems he doesn't want to come and play in the water. Well, what a pity. Hey, he had another pearl for me. My first trader to be is ready, and enough of the haul is ready for them to be moved in and start their future career. And so, I have my first Fletcher. My normal trader setup is 4 Fletchers as my first trades, each with a stick trade as their initial trade. This is because with a stick trade, 4 Fletchers will turn 4 stacks of log into a stack of emeralds, and that's without zombie curing. Combined with the Giant Spruce plantation, and it's emeralds for days. My 4th Fletcher is in place and ready to offer a stick and arrow trade after just 1 reset. I set things up ready for my next villager trade type, Librarian. I check, but there's no traders to be waiting for assignment, so go take care of other work around base. After a short patch of fun, which included fighting an enderman in my bedroom, I come back and check on the new trader status. No, still no one. Maybe I should go exploring away from base, and they'll be waiting for when I get back. Looking at the world map, I went east last time I went exploring, so perhaps I should go west this time. That oak tree on the ice there looks cool, but what's even cooler for me is the fact there's a shipwreck right next to it. Rounding this iceberg, and another shipwreck appears. This one could be a bit harder to raid. Hunting for the next treasure location in the rain is pretty cool, but it looks like I'm going to have a bit of a swim to reach this chest. My plan to go and explore to encourage new traders seems successful. There's clearly a couple just waiting there for their new life. Another enderman playing on the beach is nice enough to drop me yet another ender pearl. At this rate, I might not need to trade for them at all. I'm back in the trading hall and Kiko here moves in to become my first librarian. And now it's time to see what I can get for my trade. As to my headwear, well, it was another nice gift from an enderman. I'm only a few cycles in and I get mending for 16 emeralds. Well, that's not a bad effort for the first trade without zombification. I make a slight mistake ushering the next trader into position and ended up releasing 2 future traders. To my great delight, the second villager automatically positions themselves in an empty station. Now that's going to make my life easier. Cycling the trades for my second librarian, and I land on Flame for 14. It's not a bad offer, but also not great. It's like I have 18 on my cards and I tell the dealer to hit. It's about the same sort of irrational logic. And the dealer just dealt me a 3. Now I have Flame for 10. I think that's enough luck used for now. Setting up the trades for my self-installed librarian, and I keep running into the issue of enchant descriptions going off the screen. Apparently it's because I'm playing in windowed mode, resized to full screen. In proper full screen mode, apparently the descriptions are easy to read. So in this case, I can see that it's fortune of some sorts. I just can't see what level it is. Ooh, Silk Touch for 15. Well, that's not a bad offer. We'll take that. And back looking for treasure, I find a puppy who's happy to become my friend. Hey, nice. I managed to find the treasure after some underwater excavation. It's really not a bad collection of shiny things. Time to loot, get my puppy friend, and head home. All these extra puppies don't want to be my friend just yet, so I leash them and take them home with my other one. Back in the trading hall, I extend the trading stations and look at what the other traders I'll be wanting. Using the blaze rods I've already gathered, I can make brewing stands and get clerics. That means ender pearls. The other focus will be on librarians, toolsmiths and armourers. Hey, I have my first cleric. And now I have 4. It's the leveled ender pearl tray that I'm chasing from them. I take a break from trading to head outside and make sure I have a decent layer of dirt and grass above my farms. It also helps to level out the base surrounds and makes it more like it would be if I put the curtain wall in. I'm pretty sure I won't get that particular job done with this base, but I can at least ensure the various pits and holes and sand areas are covered up. And now the clerics have leveled up to the point I'm getting my pearl trades. It's annoying when the trader decides hanging out in the breeding area is more fun than at their worksite. It also doesn't help that they snuck out, grabbed a job, and then came back to hide. And now things are back to the way they should be. I've finally got 4 armourers offering decent starting trades for each piece of iron gear. There's still plenty of trades to be had, but the haul's coming along really well. Except for one particular recalcitrant librarian who refuses to give good trades. Alright, so I have ender pearls, I have blaze rods, I have everything I need to go look for the end stronghold. So I go outside, mark my first position, and toss. Huh, that's odd. I didn't think it was supposed to sink like that. And why was I teleported out here? Oh. That's why. Okay. Let's fix this. Okay. Now, back on the launching platform and ready for take 2. Oh, hey, it worked this time. Alright, let's see if there's a decent crossing angle. Now, with the first couple of throws like that, it's going to be some distance away. After a night to think about it, I come back out to look at what my initial tosses showed me. My first toss was off in this direction, and taught me very quickly the difference between ender eyes and ender pearls. I marked my toss points with spruce planks, but there wasn't a huge amount of angle difference between the two. So that means it's going to be somewhere I haven't explored yet. I head for the island immediately to the west of my base and take a third shot from there. The angle isn't great. All 3 are still in basically the same direction. Well, I know where I'm going to be heading. It's going to be quite a journey, so perhaps I should hold off on the end until my armourers are giving me diamond gear. And the weaponsmiths. So I now have the first row of my trading hall fully staffed. 4 fletchers, 4 toolsmiths, and 4 armourers. Row 2 is going to be nothing but librarians, and row 3 is filling in with clerics and weaponsmiths. After I do some more things to tidy up around base, it's time to go look for the stronghold. In the snowy zone here, I spot a village right on the edge of the map. It's not a stronghold, but I can always toss another eye after visiting it. Village has been raided, so it's time for the next toss. Oh, that's still pretty close to the first 3 tosses. Well, I've got a lot more walking coming. Well, at least the sunset's pretty. There's villages to my north and south, so I'll visit both and toss another eye. That first toss is pretty much the same as the other ones. At least it means I'm on roughly the right heading. Well, this second toss isn't filling me with confidence. But I finished with the southern village and it's time to toss. Hey, it's actually on a different heading. I can almost see the intercept. So, that yellow X on my map was the next toss based on the first heading. The grey one is the rough intercept location. Doesn't look like a bad set of estimates. I'm almost at the grey X and, well, It's some difficult terrain for digging. Well, there's a village nearby, well, I'll make another toss to confirm my guesses. I climb to the top of the well and make another toss. And the heading seems to reinforce the grey X location. Oh, that was a good pick. I'm back on the cliffside. I work out exactly where I should be digging down. Well, at least it's on land. Right, time to dig. And dig. I'm happily digging away and hit deep slate. Just how far do I have to dig to find this stronghold? I mean, I'm going to dig to bedrock since this is where the eye said to dig. Well, I had no luck on my first effort. It looks like I'm going to be here for a while, so I'll need to make this dig site a bit safer. While carving out the digging camp and gathering resources locally, I find a wolf and soon have a puppy to keep me company out here. Walls are up and I've got the entrance to the stronghold mine marked. I contemplate maybe putting a copper roof on, but that would be really expensive in terms of copper, which is something I don't have a lot of out here. The smelter's running, my puppy's happy, so I may as well go back to digging for the stronghold and thinking of a roof. Well, the descending tunnel hasn't hit bedrock yet, so we'll keep going. Hey, look what I found! That was pretty quick. Now my new task is going to be finding the way in. I dig around a corner and I found the entrance. Even better, the second actual room that I stumble across is a library. That's looking really good. Wait, that's not a library. That's the portal. It's almost a letdown to find it so fast. I'd been psyching myself up for a series of pitched battles, and that didn't happen. Well, except for the silverfish I just heard. But now they're on the other side of the door. While I'm waiting for the copper to smelt faster, I give granite a shot for the hut roof. Hey, doesn't look too bad. But I'm clearly well short on my copper supplies. I put some crops in and some external decorations, and it actually looks pretty nice and cozy out here. It's going to be a nice little staging post as I move back and forth to my main base, getting ready to take on the end. I'm looking at the world map while trying to work out the best path back to the main base. I'm surprised to find I completely missed a pillager tower. Well, I guess it was because my focus was in the other direction the whole time. I'm getting dizzy with this spiral access tunnel, so I'm going to install ladders to make access a bit better. I take my leftover ender eyes down with me and put them to good use, starting to fill out the portal frame. I need 9 more. Well, I get loaded up with resources, grab my puppy, and head out for the main base. I need 9 more ender eyes, a collection of resources, and better gear before I go to the end. My hope of this being a connecting waterway falls short, so I need to get out and walk. In an effort to take the lead off the puppy, I make a mistake and spend the next few in-game days wondering where my dog had gone. He was just doing as he was told. Well, I'm now back to my main base. I was so happy to have a weaponsmith with an enchanted first trade, I didn't even bother to check the quality of the offer. The second trader has a much better offer. Now, this is not how I convince recalcitrant traders to give me better offers. I think villagers' rights will have something to say about this. I mean, it was a complete accident. Well, perhaps it'd be a good idea if I give the traders a chance to cool off. So I head back to the end stronghold camp. Now, I've found plenty of cool caves across the various worlds during this series, but this has to be one of the absolute best. I find and tame a donkey with some cool stats. And so donks a lot here will make subsequent trips back and forth a lot more efficient. It's a bit hard to see while looking directly into the evening sun, but I find my dog, who I didn't mean to leave here. And we're back to being happy families again. Even though I've only just got back, I'm already planning my return journey. I finished the ladder to the stronghold, mine out the iron vein I'd found, make another bed, smelt some iron, basically get trading resources ready to cart back to the main base. I load everything up, including Sir Donks-a-lot, ready my puppy, and start the trek back to base. It's donkeys on ice. So Donks-a-lot is a bit hard to control on the ice, but it's still quicker than smacking my head into low-hanging spruce branches. I arrive back at the main base with Sir Donks-a-lot and my puppy this time. Right, it's time to work on resources for trades as I plan the push into the end. One last book trade and I've got the books I want to make a super pick. Oh Fortuna will be ready soon, and it'll be time for the mines. And this is why I branch mine working back up from bedrock. Because if I hit water, it's only going to flood the levels I've already branch mined and had their markers removed. Whereas if I hit water higher up, it floods out the branch markers I haven't mined. Plus, mining the lower levels out gives me more diamonds. Well, I'm probably going to trade for any diamond gear or tools I need. Having a Fortune 3 pick makes grabbing opportunistic diamonds fun. Ignoring the spawner in the end stronghold, this is the first mob spawner I found in this world. And I'm over 20 hours in. With a Fortune 3 shovel and stacks of otherwise unused gravel, I farm flint to help clear some trade levels in the trading hall. I still haven't made my mind up on how I'm going to take on the end dragon, so I hedge my bets and start farming wool for beds. After lots of work in the mines and outside, I come back to trade with my Fletchers, who have now all hit master level. Those master level trades aren't all that great, but I can make up most of the deficiencies with librarian trades. Somebody really doesn't want their trade. And I forgot to close the gate. So now my newest librarian's just chilling in the walkway. Alright, everyone's now in place. I'll work on refining their trades later, but I've definitely got enough now for an end push. After forgetting that I've had ready access to the ingredients, I craft my first ender chests in over 10 years of playing Minecraft. First time for everything, I guess. I make 3. One for the main base, one for the stronghold mining camp, and one for the end. The eternal problem of trying to level up traders. Terrible mid-level trades. I really should set up an auto smelter to recover resources from those terrible mid-trades. Well, I now have master weaponsmiths, but their enchanted diamond gear is really quite poor. The master level trades for my toolsmiths are much better and make up for things a bit. I finally install a small auto smelter with manual recovery. Since I'm not trading that much, it'll be fine for my needs. While trying to level my armorers, I find this lava bucket trade rather interesting. I have plenty of lava available to me in my mines, and with the bucket, it's only 3 iron, and my time. So the upgrade is 4 buckets, so that's 12 ingots, which is half of what it cost me in ingots for the second level upgrade. And now I have enchanted diamond gear available as well. With the production rate of new traders waiting for jobs and how many I have in place, it's time to extend the trading hall to its full size. An ancillary benefit is that the final crop areas are also carved out. The animal pens remain untouched though. I haven't finished carving out the hall, but I am ready for the next crop of librarians to move into their job sites. Okay, it's time to seriously go for the end. It's time for me to get my diamonds on. But first, I need to put a roof on my base. I also want to see what the master level offers are from my other gear traders. So I load up with lava buckets and trade away. My gear's looking pretty good, but I urgently need more levels to continue adding enchantments. The mob spawner really isn't producing anymore, and trades are capping. With few other options to rapidly level XP, I start fishing. I burn the last of that new XP on shield enchantments. That done, it's time to pack my bags, my ender chests, and get ready for the coming journey. I think I'm ready. I still have no idea how I'm going to take on the dragon, but I'm as ready as I'm going to get. I'm all nice and shiny and everything glows with enchantments. It's time to go. Okay, one final check of my gear, and it's go time. My dogs are staying to look after the base, but Sir Donxalot is coming with me. He needs to, since he's carrying the ender chests. Alright, I'm at the mine hut. Thanks for all your work, Sir Donxalot. One last look at the sun before we head into Destiny. Ender chest 2 is now in place. Down the ladder. It doesn't really matter much at this point, but goodbye, spawner. And let's complete the portal. Hooray, I'm in the end for the first time. Clearly it's a buried portal platform, so after checking my bearings, I tunnel out. It's the sky, or night, or whatever it is, but it is time to put my cool hat on. The method I've decided upon to use for taking on the dragon is ENXO4's End Dragon Trap method, linked in the description below. It requires a bunch of resources to trap the dragon in a water column so you can safely snipe it from a distance. But to do so, you need a pillar way up into the sky. With the obvious drawback of being extremely vulnerable by pillaring. Oh no, I'm hit by dragon's breath about 100 Y levels above the ground. and completely missed the MLG clutch as I hit the end crystal pillar. That was so close. Worked so hard and gotten so close. It was almost 30 hours of gameplay in this world and I died due to missing a clutch. Oh well. According to our rules, that's it for this world. The next one's a hard survival world. We'll see you then.